Greetings and salutations, this is Jason Silverain, and today I'll be doing The Deed of Murder. Now, The Deed is a rather interesting little game by Pilgrim Adventures and Grab the Game Studios. It was released on the 23rd of November 2015 for an almighty 49p, and I picked it up during the Christmas sale for 24p. So I can't really complain on price, and it's well worth that very cheap price. It's an absolute bargain, in fact. It's a short game. I've completed everything in the game in about 2 hours. And it is an RPG Maker game, surprisingly. Now, your game options are limited because of this, but you can change things as you need. And the theme of the game is you're the black sheep of a family. You have an abusive father, a somewhat deranged sadistic sister, and a mother who's basically cracking under the pressure of taking care of your sister, and has always sort of favoured her. You've just been recently written out of the will, so you're planning on murdering your sister and getting yourself back in the will. So, Aaron Bruce, son of Malcolm Bruce. Now, the great thing about this is while you can get caught, you can make it look like suicide, you can pin the murder on anyone else in the house. And you really do have to be cunning. But it does have issues with being a little limited with where you can place things like evidence, because, well, I'll get into the game so you can see for yourself. I'm going to go a single playthrough. I did do a collection of playthroughs over Christmas, or the Christmas period at the very least. Unfortunately, there was an issue with the recording quality, so I'm now just condensing all I know into this a single review video. No suspicion, indeed. Now, it's a little limited, but the developers have really shown they can do some very good writing, and I'd love them to do something like this on a larger scale, with a bit more in depth and a few more options. George the butler, probably the only decent person in the house. Yeah, here we go. Objects are divided into two categories: items, evidence, and items of weapons. Now, what bugged me is you can pick up, you have to pick up 2 items to proceed. However, you can only plant 1 piece of evidence. I mean, I would have liked it if you could pick up and plant 2 pieces of evidence. But then you'd be resorted to do the murder with your bare hands. So now we meet the maid. Well, I could keep my coat because it's good at hiding the larger items, but it's soaking wet and it's suspicious. Or I could just be a perv, but no, let's go with the polite method. Now, I'm trying to decide for this run-through, am I going to pin the murder on my abusive father, or am I going to make it look like suicide? Suicide and pinning it on the maid are actually the 2 easiest ways of doing it. Well, if I don't get along with my family or get offended, maid may get suspicious, and it may draw suspicion upon me. This is a game where you have to remember exactly what you've done as well, and just what you said to who. I'm very tempted to say I know my way around my own damn house at some point, but no, let's keep it civil. Now, a lot of the stuff in the house is interactable. Some of it causes memories to occur. And there's quite a little bit of music in the game. It's all quite good. So, first piece of evidence I could pick up, I could do diary. Let's leave it where it is for now. There's your mother, looking rather decent for her age, apart from the grey hair. See, just that kind of that sort of attitude. Fair enough. And well, I'm pretty estranged from the family, so she probably will not believe me if I'm sorry. If I say I'm here to make amends, I could be an asshole. But let's go with playing stupid. Ah, so your sister is potentially suicidal. I love how the music fades out as you leave the room as well. You know what? We're gonna pin it on the dad. Hey, dog. Called his dog Beastie. Ugh. Can I look out the window? Now, I'm not going to mention the inheritance because that would give me, me motive. If I knew that, none of your concern wouldn't make sense. So let's go with the birthday. Yes, I'm trying to be civil. Another day I watch my life works crumble into nothing. Another day to see our bloodline slit its own throat. Okay, stand up to the old bastard. So, murder weapons include the classic, the candlestick. Empty. Ah, the drawing room. So your sister apparently is a lesbian. And the first of the flashbacks. There's not enough of these in the house, I'd say, and I quite like the use of music to bring a mood, but the fact the house is so silent most of the time, apart from that rain, I guess it's to make it sort of feel a bit more, I would say realistic isn't the right word, thematic. It makes the music stand out more when it does occur. Now, normally, as the sort of person I am, I wouldn't speak to the servants. It's that sort of era. You didn't speak to the help unless you had to. Roast beef. Now I'm actually getting quite hungry. So, rat poison's a classic, but not appropriate if I'm planning on pinning it on the father. Knife. Again, later, because this game's split into 3 stages. You have the this stage where you gather what you need, the actual planting the evidence and doing the murder, and then there's an investigation stage, and the investigator is quite clever. For example, if I talked to the maid, took that knife, and then did the murder without penning enough evidence on the maid, he'll realise that I could have taken the knife from the kitchen when I was talking to the maid. Now this one's quite good. By talking to the new maid about a particular person, you can just make it look like you're rather concerned about the help. Sorry. I'll get out of the kitchen. Leave this for now. Strangulation would be quite good if I was doing the attempt to make it look like suicide. I'll leave the cue where it is, but that's actually not a bad one to take. The quotes for all the pictures. Maid supplies, broom there, which is another murder weapon. I must admit the broom was the hardest one to find, because it doesn't really stand out in this room. Now, George's room has always frustrated me a little bit. You can't really get here before him, so it's like the one room you can't really interact with. That's a man who's worried about being forced to retirement. So, I'm very tempted to see if I can take the cue and use that as the weapon. I may have needed to keep my code. So, we're sort of done downstairs. Let us return upstairs. To my parents' room. Just root through my parents' belongings. And another flashback. Yes, depending what murder weapon you use, you're going to do the murder in a house full of people. So then you've got to remember, if you use something noisy, people are going to hear it. that's probably the closest you ever get to speaking to your sister. And my old bedroom. And as you can see, all the rooms sort of make sense, the layout makes sense. I mean, there's not that much you can really interact with, unfortunately. Leave the sword is that EP is. There's no way you're going to get a kill with that and not get to, you know, be fingered as a murderer. You're like the one person in the house who can actually use it. Now that's a hell of a lot of mirrors. So many mirrors. Well, might as well try speaking to the girl. Or I could steal her underwear. Now, I was trying to do things like plant her underwear in the parents' room or the father's billiards room to try and make it look like there may have been some sort of abuse going on there. But unfortunately, that's not one of the combinations that's been written into the game. So this is one of my issues: is sometimes you've got to figure out what the developers were thinking. A lot of the combinations are logical, but you know, it's a bit limiting. It's like there's certain things they didn't want to consider. And now, she's just no redeeming features. The fact that the first time you see her in ages, she refers to you as a little rat, won't even say your name, and then mocks you about killing your pet, which you did when you were a child. Just disturbed girl. And that's pretty much the whole house. So, there's the maid's room, which has some interesting things in, but I'm going to leave it at that. I wonder if I could take the cue. Ah, yeah, it seems like if you want to pin it on your dad, you have to, well, there's a way I think I can do it, but it's going to be risky. But that does mean I can pick up a second piece of evidence. Now what evidence should I grab? Keeping the underwear on me would not seem well, so if I grab this, I think this will be the thing I use. I'll take the poem. So we're going to go with two pieces of evidence and no murder weapon. Dinner is served. Now I just need to push the right buttons. There we go. Don't you think you had enough, Mother? No, don't you lose your time. See, you're trying to just do a bit of concern, and everyone's like, how dare you say anything? Hell, even if you agree with her and say, you know, how do the servants normally speak to you like that? You're told, you know, your mother knows how to deal with this, shut the hell up. The family, no matter what you pick, will be angry with you. But to be fair, I was being a bit of a dick during dinner. Like, you can't not be an asshole, it seems. So your family do have a few reasons to have a bit of grief with you. Now, I don't like this because I really need the what to say. Yeah, I could have really done with at least one of the murder weapons that would implicate my father. Now, if you press X to bring up that, you can save game. And it's actually kind of good if you want to sort of skip all the intro just to save the game particular points. So we'll stick this here. Yes, I will plant this evidence here. Now if I hold down shift, I can run. See, normal speed, shift speed. Just a slight amount of, but I'm not going to have much time to get somewhere where someone can essentially vouch for me for not being at the being at the murder scene. Now this game's had quite a few little updates which I quite like adding that in. We're going to do it with our bare hands. Okay, I need to sprint. 3 seconds. Speak with George. If anyone asks, I was seeing if he'd knocked something over. Have I gotten away with it? Now, having that piece of evidence on me would occasionally make it be quite bad for me, but in my experience, this piece of poetry you can sort of keep on you. So you can see the silence sometimes feels a bit, I don't know, off-putting. Of course not, my sister atrocity. I just need to remember what I did. Sure, the family was treating her well. Now you just have to keep pushing that angle if your father is a violent man. I think I've done 1 or 2 suspicious things. I might get arrested here. See, that's why I'm doing it. I'm making it look like I'd found the poem and I was accusing the sister of having feelings for the maid and for her to just, you know, behave herself. So ground floor, that's where I was when I heard the maid scream. And I was in the storage room with George. Yes! But the too cliche. Damn it, I may have been caught. But then again, it might have been pinned on the father. Yes! We pinned it on the old bastard. Yes, murder has a price, however. Now, there's several other endings to this game, and I really suggest you just pick it up, because it barely costs anything. And explore it for yourself. As you can see, it's damn short, and I was kind of just going at quite a slow pace, just so you guys could read it. I would have read it all out myself, but I'll be honest, my throat's not really great right now. But yeah, that's just my little playthrough of the deed, and I hope that was informative. I do like this. I really hope they make more of these. They are working on their own sort of space series at the moment, which I must admit I didn't particularly like the look of, but you know, each developer has to do their own thing, and I'll keep an eye on Pilgrim Adventures. See if they come up with anything nice in the future. Thank you for watching.